Happy Miracle Monday, everyone. This is Dawn Petalino, your transformational coach and best-selling author of Peace, Power, and Miracles. And Miracle Monday is just a Monday. We say Miracle Monday because life was meant to be miraculous. Miracles were meant to be the medium of which your higher self lives through you in your life. And Miracle Monday is just a day where we remind you of this truth of who you are so you can walk out into the world and remember, oh yes, this is who I was. Now I remember. And what we're going to talk about today is that there is no loss, only gain when you live in the laws of love. You know, a lot of times, and I talk about this a lot because it's just what everyone deals with, it's what I deal with. Things come into our existence, into our awareness, into our circumstances that are frightening. Change happens all the time, right? So change happens and we become afraid because we become afraid of what we might lose. We become afraid of what we might not have. If X leaves, if Y leaves, if we don't get that, if we don't get this. We live in this world of if, then this, And the laws of love, or the Course of Love says, and I refer to these two books, Course in Miracles and Course of Love. The Course of Love says you have to remember that there is no loss, only gain under the laws of love. You have to forget this if-then mentality. And that the laws of love, what does that mean, the laws of love? Okay, well, let's get down to the real truth. Is when we talk about truth, what we're really talking about is that you are a creation of love by a creator of love. You are the created. You are the form that love is taking out in this world. And that everything that comes from the idea of love is truth. Everything that comes from the idea of fear is an illusion. Now, it can be a convincing one if we keep falling into believing if then this. If we keep believing in the fearful conclusions that our mind draws, or the fearful uncertainties that our mind draws in, and the fear of our survival, that's a very ego-based fear, and it's based on fear, and that's why it's an illusion. We forget, wait a minute, that can't possibly be true. You were created by love. You live under the laws of love. But when we're living under fear, then we are living by the laws of man, the laws of the ego. But when we remember, wait a minute, this can't be true. And that's why the Course of Love says you have to trust that when you make a choice for love, love creates love. Love can only create love, and love is an extension. Any loving extension is for the maximal benefit of everyone involved. That means anytime we decide in a circumstance, let's just say someone comes to me and I get afraid. Okay, client comes to me and says, oh, I've got to drop whatever. Okay, part of me might go, oh no, they can't leave. You know how many times financial fears hit us, right? Well, they can't leave because what am I going to do, and X, Y, and Z? But whenever instead we say, wait a minute, that's impossible. If I make the decision and I react to their comment from a fearful place, I am not choosing love, and therefore I am not becoming an extension of love. But if I rest in the safety of love, and that's what it means by living under the laws of love. The laws of love does not believe in suffering. You live under grace. And so whenever I remember this and I say, wait a minute, what's the loving thought? The loving thought is if I were to come from love, knowing I was safe, knowing that anything that is fearful isn't real, isn't an illusion, and cannot harm me, then I remember this and I go to the person instead and say, well, gee, how can I support you? Is there any way I can support you? Because I'm no longer thinking of myself caught in my own fearful nightmare. I am now realizing I have this love. I am an extension of love. And the loving thought, the loving response that says, what would love do here? That response is always for the maximal benefit of everyone. The times in my life where I have regretted are the times I reacted out of fear. and made some comment, even some like sarcastic comment. It could be something really small, but I regretted saying, why did I do that? Did I really need to add that to the conversation? But the times that are never lost are the times I've acted out of love, which is to say only love is real. And the Course of Love says, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid when things leave, of letting go of these special relationships. Special relationship is anything I have a relationship with, a circumstance, a person, a situation where I think I need it in order to get something for myself. That's a special relationship. So it says, do not be afraid of letting go of these special relationships, because there is no loss, only gain under the laws of love. And when we let go and we actually surrender and say, I am going to, and this is the action you can take, I am going to take a neutral position on this. I can see the fear, I see it's there, and I can say, you know what, I see it, but I am going to wave my flag of surrender and take a neutral position on this. And I am going to choose in this space, in spite of my fear, what is the loving thing? And that action, that little willingness, is all we need, because when we live under the laws of love, there is no loss, there is only gain, and it is the maximal benefit for everyone. And that's when we begin to trust more and more in the benevolence of the universe, benevolence of the universe, but also that miracles are just an extension of love. They're not really anything special. They're the way we were supposed to live, as extensions of love. You are safe. You are safe under the laws of love because you were created by love. That's all you are. Only love is real. And so today, when you get afraid, go back to your little treehouse and pull yourself in, and just remember, I'm going to breathe. I am going to remind myself I'm just going to take a neutral position on this. And I'm just going to ask, okay, I'm going to look at this with new eyes and ask, what would love do here? And I have no fear of loss, only gain under the laws of love. Happy Miracle Monday. I hope you take that out with you today. And I hope you become an extension and an expression of that love to someone who has forgotten that they too are love. Happy Miracle Monday, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now.